Hello students and welcome back to our software engineering series. I'm Nadia Patel. Let's get started with our today's lecture. In today's lecture we are going to go through system development life cycles phases. In the previous lecture we have seen the discussion of SDLC with a case study of constructing a house. So in this lecture we will break down this development in a systematic manner. We have already considered our house as a system and we have gone through some steps of constructing our house. So system development life cycle is what? It is going to give us a formal development in a systematic manner. You can say that it is a formula which we can apply in the development of any system. So right now we are discussing real life systems. You can apply the same concept in development of, you can say, hospital or hospital management, or you can say restaurant management, hotel management. Any real life system you can pick and apply the theory and learn. So let us go through point by point that what exactly system development life cycle is all about. So it is having a particular development life cycle. It is a conceptual model. So whenever we say that it is a conceptual model, sometimes some part of its concept cannot be applied in real life. But probably you can say 95% of the concepts given by our SDLC we can apply in our real life. It is used for project management and development. So project can be anything. It can be development of a real life system, or it can also be our software project. So you can apply for its development. It is divided into various phases, and phases are further divided into various activities. So every phase is going to have some dedicated activities of its own, and anything divided into phases helps in a systematic manner to build. It also gives us guidelines for the development. It is an interactive process of developing and maintaining the system with the help of various activities. So this is the diagram of system development life cycle, and following are the phases of SDLC. So if you can see, the first phase is planning and requirement analysis. Once you perform this phase and if you feel that we have satisfactorily completed this phase, you go down to the next phase, which is system analysis. So first you formally require or just gather all the requirements, analyze them. Further, you analyze it as a whole system, as a single unit. Here you can do it part by part. That is, you can first sit and plan subsystems, collect requirements, and then accordingly go further and collect them, integrate them, and then consider it as a system and analyze it. Further, we have design and develop phase. So once you have analyzed the complete system, you have understood that what this system is all about, you can design it and slowly progress and develop it. Further, we have the phase of testing and integration. Again, a very important phase. But we are going to perform testing and integration against planning and requirements done. So whatever you have planned in the first phase should be completely applicable and should be correct, and that will be tested in the testing and integration phase. Whichever requirements you have gathered and you have analyzed and you have converted it into design will be tested in this phase. Further, we have the phase of implementation where the system will become live and productive. You can also say that the customer or the user will start using that system. And finally, we have the last phase of system maintenance where the system throughout its use, or you can say till the last day of its use, will be maintained, will be used. And again, there is an arrow in the after the system maintenance phase, there is again one arrow going into the planning and requirement analysis phase. And why is this? We will discuss it when we are going to go through the maintenance phase. Let's go and see what exactly is the phase 1 of planning and requirement analysis. In this phase, we are first going to find the reason behind building the system. Now, we have already discussed, or we have carried out a discussion about constructing a house. So imagine a family approaches a team of architects and engineers with a, you can say, requirement of they just want to construct a house. So what is the reason that they want this house? So you can't directly ask them, why do you need this house? So how can you formulate this part of theory is, what is the actual reason that they are constructing this house? What are the problems in their existing house? This could be the point of discussion. So maybe they can say that right now we are living in a house, it is having a little, you can say, congested kind of feel because our family is getting extended, we're expanding the family, our brother is going to come and join us, and so this extended family needs a nice spacious house. So this is the reason, that is why they're building the system, or they're asking you to build the system. Further, we must try to know first that what the problem or the need is before finding a solution. Now, whenever we see this word problem, we probably think it is something which is very problematic and we run from problems. Nobody wants problem in their lives. But here in the development, you can consider problem as need. Like as I just told you, that the family is saying that the house is now running a little congested and we want a little spacious kind of a house. So this is our need, but this is also at the same time our problem. Similarly, if they say that right now we are living in a house which is having a smaller kitchen and there is no space for prayers, we need a small temple in the house, or we need a separate area for praying, or you can say anything like such things. So this is the problem right now, which gets converted into the need. So as a developer, you should be very keen and you should pay very, you can say, prominent attendance towards what the client is actually telling you, what problems are they sharing, and those problems are further going to get converted into the need. So we need to focus in understanding the need of system. So this is going to be something for which you are going to provide a solution. Again, very important part. If they are saying that we need space, we are running out of space right now, you should now come up with a solution that within the given dimensions, how you can come up with a design which is quite spacious. The next point is, this is the fundamental phase of understanding why the system should be built. Again, very important. Once you understand the client's problem, that this is something which is troublesome right now, and we are coming up to you as somebody who is going to provide solution. So can you come up with a good solution? So this is why they need this system. This is why we need to build that system. And you cannot further, while building or constructing, neglect these problems. You have to keep it in your prime focus. The basis on which the complete system will be built is the recognition of the needs or requirements gathered and their analysis. Again, very important. Once you understand the prime need of your client or customer, you will definitely gather the right requirements and then further analyze them. Also check if automation or computerization is needed or required. Right now we are discussing a system which is building a house which is very, very real life system. But if you're working on a project and somebody comes up with requirements, needs and problems, at that time you can again sit and consider if automation or computerization is needed. Right now in our case study, very less amount of computerization is needed, but automation, yes, you can think about house automation. So if the person itself is saying that I'm going to stay in this house with my family and I have my parents who are senior citizens. So you can keep in mind that for senior citizens, can we come up with some simple house automation techniques or something where voice commands are given, or some, you can say, remote controls are there to handle panels or something, some ideas you can brainstorm in this phase, which is a very important phase. This phase is broken down into some activities, among which again are planning, which is systematically done. A proper plan is never going to get failed. One good plan, one nice action plan where your budget, time, resources will be considered, time prominently or majorly will be considered, will never fail the system. Next is requirements gathering. While gathering the requirements, one is in our case study, we will sit and ask the person like what exactly are your needs, what is the problem, what is troubling you right now in your house that you don't want in your future house, what is the thing that you are visualizing that this should be my house. So this is gathering the requirements. Analyzing the requirements could be, say for example, the person who has came up to you saying that I want a house to be constructed and I am living with my parents, it's saying that now my parents have become very old and they barely climb staircases. So they don't even climb a single staircase. So here is something which should immediately click your mind that in this case you can say arrange or design senior citizens bedroom on first floor or on second floor. They have clearly mentioned that they can't climb up the stairs, or you can't arrange or design prayer room on the second floor. So you climb 2 stairs up and then the senior citizens can go and make use of the prayer room. So this is a wrong design. This is the wrong requirement gathering and you have not analyzed your requirements properly. This is the, you can say, good example of it. At the same time, say for example, the senior citizens or the parents are giving you or telling you that every single morning we wake up early and I have habit of plucking flowers from my garden and then offering it to our temple or our god. So we don't want, you can say, a long passage running somewhere. So here you can come up with a nice idea or something, some passages, some doors opening from the prayer room to the garden. So this is how the ideas get brainstormed. So gathering the requirement, analyzing them, and then going further is the very right and important thing. Next is find the problem or basic need, which I have already told you. So this is their problem. I can't climb up the stairs is my problem. So you give me a solution. So you don't give me some huge steps which are again going to contribute in my pain of climbing. So you come up with some solution. This is my need. This is what I need. I want my house to have a very easy staircase kind of a thing. Further, the very most important to be noted is, as this is the very first phase of development and it is the phase where the whole SDLC is going to depend. The whole SDLC is depending on this first phase. If we are failing to perform this phase, the whole development is going to go wrong. So it is very much preferred in many IT industry companies and usually in real life development that you do carry or have some senior members with you in performing this phase, in collecting those requirements, in analyzing those requirements. Further, planning is actually having systematic steps for building the system. Requirements gathering, inside requirements gathering, we will find all necessary requirements needed to build the system. We'll make use of basic fact-finding techniques. Now, what are basic fact-finding techniques? We are going to have a dedicated, you can say, systematic way of collecting requirement. We can't directly go and collect some facts in a vague manner. So basic technique is asking and observation. One is if the person is not on his own providing you the requirements, you have to ask that person that what do you think? How do you want it? How many rooms do you expect? Do you want some master bedrooms? Whichever. Sticking to the case study, we are just considering these, you can say, things. But in our software, what you can do is what do you expect in the building system? What are the points that which you want inside your report? Do you want to mention taxes separately? So these are simple questions which should be asked. So this is basic fact finding technique. It has got many techniques. You can make use of one or more. Further, you have to interact with the clients or customers. Now, interaction is not only simply going down and having a chit chat with them, like, you can't just go vague and I just communicated and they just give me 5-10 sentences and that's it. No, you have to sit, ask systematically, inquire about whatever things they feel like. Maybe they are failing. If the person is saying more about my parents, and if he's failing to mention that he has 2 kids. So here it is your job to ask, would you like to have a separate children's room? Would you like to have a study room separately? Are you bringing home back your work? So if you're bringing home back your work, you need a room, because work from home has really embraced working from home too much. So we need to have some rooms in our houses, maybe a smaller work area like office kind of a structure. You go out and ask. So this is what is interaction with your client or customer. One more thing is end users. Now what is the difference between the client, customers and end users? Client and customer is one and the same. But say for example, there is a family who has approached a team of architects and engineers saying that we are building a house right now. It should have a kitchen. It should have bathroom. It should have, you can say, nice passages. But we are constructing this house as an investment. And further, I'm going to convert this house into a boys' hostel. So this is my investment and I'm going to commercialize it. In this case, as a good, you can say, architect or as a good engineer, you should quickly think of coming up with some provisions which should have house with more rooms, right? So if they are saying that they want to convert it in future, I'm not going to stay in this house, but I'm converting this into a hostel. So you should come up with idea that yes, very less attention should be paid on interiors. We don't want lavish interiors in this house, because definitely people staying in this house is not the customer itself. So he is getting it built for somebody else. So the actual person who is going to stay in the house are the students. So they become the end users. So they are the end users here, and customer is the one who is getting it built. This is the difference between the two. Further, requirement analysis is going to analyze systematically all the requirements by understanding them. Like as I told you that they want to build a house, this is an investment plan, and they want to commercialize it by making it or converting it in a boys' hostel. So this is what I have analyzed, that this requirement of house is not normal or common. So I have to pay attention towards big rooms, smaller passages, not necessarily hall, or I can say I can convert that concept of hall into waiting area. So I can also think of the hall with maybe prayer room is required, not required, I don't know. But then can I create a small area of reception desk? So this is analyzing the requirements. Further, problems are the needs. Now they get converted into our goals. If we are developing the system, now these are our goals. So we discussed 2-3 goals, which were that staircase should not be huge. One more goal was that parents are, you can say, senior citizens, so they can't climb up the stairs. Bedroom of senior citizens should be on the ground floor itself. Next, case study part 2, where the house itself is going to get converted into hostel. So paying more attention towards building rooms which should be huge. Now, what if we don't perform this first phase of development properly? We are going to build such a house. Can you see this? If we say that if this is a hostel, even it is not, you can say, applicable. This design is never going to become live and productive, because there is a living room, there is a kitchen centrally, there is bathroom, children's room, master bedroom, and no connection into it. So subsystems are just placed. There is no interface between the subsystem. There is no communication in the subsystem. So nobody would like to live in such house. Nobody will commercialize this kind of a structure into hostel as well. So if you don't perform the first phase of development correctly, you are definitely going to build such a system. If you are not going to perform the first phase correctly, your software project is going to be appearing like this. So make sure for your project as well, for your software development as well, you perform the first phase of requirement analysis and gathering and planning correctly. So we are expecting a well planned proper house which should be of this manner. This is so nice to be staying, very nicely executed. So right now this is a case study part 1 where the family is going to stay. Case study part 2, if it is going to get converted, this is a failed design, completely failed design, because they have paid so much attention towards interiors. For the hostel, you can say we don't need such a lavish kind of interior done. Even if it is, then you'll have to align your fees accordingly. Maybe staying in a 5-star hotel, the idea is quite good, but it is not going to be affordable for us. So that is it. This was all about the first phase of SDLC. There are 6 more phases coming. So make sure that you keep written your case study properly in front of you so that you understand what slowly we are progressing towards. Thank you and keep learning.